All right, episode 4 of Thoughtscape. Probably gonna change the name of the show because there's some other Thoughtscapes out there, and they're equally as uninteresting as my show. um, but this is the most interesting show in the world, by the way, and I think everyone will agree eventually. But thank you for joining me. If you are joining me, I know right now episode 4 is the very, very beginning, and I have 0 subscribers, I think, and that's okay for now, because really Thoughtscape is for me to express my thoughts and to hear myself think out loud and to hear to get better at speaking in one of these formats. Right now, I'm in my car in my Ford Expedition, and this is the family car. As you can see, there are a total of 4 car seats right now. So if you didn't think it could be done, it can be done. Um, you can have 4 car seats. You can have 4 kids in car seats and still be alive. You can do that. My oldest son is 7. My 2 daughters are 5 and 3, and my little baby boy is 1. And yeah, we're stressed. We're stressed about it. But to me, wealth is family. So I'm a very wealthy man in that regard. I've got a beautiful wife and 4 beautiful kids. And Lorelai, she's out there. That's our 5th one. But we'll talk about her as we get later on in life. Um, so I am sitting in my car outside of the co-op that we do for homeschooling. Today I went and played trumpet for the homeschool kids. They were doing a section on classical music today, so they wanted to bring a classical instrument in and to play. And so I went in there and played trumpet for the kids, and it went really well. Got a really good reaction, of course. I've been playing trumpet for an amazingly 32 years. Um, these days I don't play very much because trumpeting doesn't make me a lot of money. So I'm mainly just focused on the things that are going to make me money, going to make money for my family and help me to gain some generational wealth. But the Classical Conversations co-op homeschooling thing is pretty cool. We may go to something a little different coming up here in the future. We were trying this one out. This was our first try with the homeschooling whole deal. But we are convinced that homeschooling is the way to go for educating our children and giving them the proper guidance and love they need um, to grow and thrive as it is right now. My kids aren't getting bullied. My kids aren't under bad influences. They are able to, thrive in a really big way. Very well socialized. And that was, I think, kind of the biggest stigma when I was going to public school, was that the homeschool kids that I did come across from time to time seemed awkward. But it was probably the other way around. Now that I think about it, it was probably the kids that were in public school that were terribly awkward. Continually bullied, continually under pressure, continually made fun of by teachers who didn't like you. And this wasn't just me. Everyone has an experience with teachers that did not like the kids, and specific kids, and there were always kids that were the teacher's pets. So it was not just me. Everyone I know has a teacher that they hated, and everyone has teachers that they love too. So there is a balance there. I think it's probably unbalanced though. There were plenty of teachers out there that were not good for my personal growth and development as a child. And that development that I got and personal growth that I received came much later when I had some good male teachers come along and kind of take me under their wing and show me what it was to be a good boy and a good young man. But the Christian co-op's pretty cool. We do classical conversations. I heard about it from Owen Benjamin in the early days of his journey through getting kicked out of Hollywood and going into the homesteading life, where he was staying at home with the kids and doing his thing there, I was very much influenced to do this through Owen Benjamin. I don't think we've got um, a very supportive co-op. Maybe not as supportive as some of the others. We're kind of driving far for this one. It's not really in our community. We may do something a little different, but homeschooling is, in my opinion, the way to go. My kid is incredibly smart. All three of my kids are incredibly smart. That are talking now. Little Jameson doesn't even speak yet. He's 18 months old. I mean, still just we're holding on to his baby years as hard as we can. But Jonathan is incredibly smart. He's incredibly empathetic. He's very emotionally smart. He has such a good heart and a great soul. When you hear him talk, he's very thoughtful, and he can really hold his own with other kids, especially. But he can hold his own with adults too. It's very interesting to hear him talk. He can pray very heartfelt prayers. He believes in God. He believes in Christ. Um, he probably has a more pure. He has to have a more pure belief in God than I even have. I mean, I believe in God, but I didn't have that early on. Advanced uh, learning that he's getting by having a father who believes in God, and that is already sowing that into his heart at such an early stage in his life. And my girls are the same way too. They have that already. They'll walk around the house singing songs about Christ and singing about how good God is. And I'm proud of that because I know that they're getting that from me and their mother. And it's a beautiful thing. But it's been an interesting couple of weeks. I can't remember the last time I made one of these episodes. I think it's been about a week and a half since I've made one. I have to go back and look at the dates, but it has been a very busy time. I've kind of fallen off of some good habits that I've had set up lately, which is probably why I haven't made an episode in a while. Um, but I've kind of gotten away from the morning routine a little bit. I'm also following a guy named Alex Hormozy, and Alex Hormozy is a really real inspiration to me. He's super muscular. He's super just driven. He's a self-made millionaire kind of guy, and I really really enjoy his videos. And one thing that he said that kind of stuck to me was "F your morning routine," and I feel him on that, because the morning routine that you have to follow with, like, for some guys, it's like a 2 hour morning routine. I mean, if you're gonna sit there, do some yoga, do some breathing exercises, take a cold shower, you know, read, stretch, exercise, before you know it, it's 2 or 3 hours and you haven't done any work. Um, he said one thing that really stuck out to me, and it's the guys who have these morning routine videos are already probably millionaires, and they can afford to not work for 3 hours, before they get their mind right, or wake up at 5:30 in the morning just to do a routine that's beneficial for them. Um, I have four little kids under the age of 8 and a wife. I'm 43 years old. I'm looking at that right down the barrel of 44 here in March, and I work a full-time job, which we'll talk more about, and I work part-time on the side, selling roofs, and I'm starting my own business. I'm in probably too many ministries in the church. We'll talk about that too. And I am also the coach of my kids' soccer team too, Carolyn's soccer team. It's 4, 5, and 6-year-old girls. And to do a routine daily, to go to sleep, to wake up, is so much work that it has kind of become a little cumbersome and a little overkill for me think to myself that I can do all those things. I'm definitely going to continue working my full-time job. It is a great job. It is quality inspections for a home building company that I'm proud of, and also handling the warranty complaints in person, so that these customers get the best customer service possible. It is a good job, and I really enjoy working for this particular company. It doesn't pay what I need it to support 6 people, including myself, but it is a great job. It's the reason that I'm doing the part-time stuff too, because I need the extra income. But the roofing sales is surprisingly gone well. I did not think for a minute that I would be the kind of person who could go knock on someone's door. First of all, drive down their driveway, get out of the truck, knock on someone's door, present myself as a salesperson, selling them a service, talk myself into getting on their roof through the customer, talk the customer into letting me get onto the roof, and then doing an inspection, marking up their roof, and then coming down and then trying to sell them on getting them to file a claim through their insurance company. It is a service, and I never thought of it that way because I'm the kind of person who doesn't want to be sold. Um, Even though I am an easy sell for the most part, it's probably why I don't want to be sold, because I know that I'm an easy sell, which is probably why I don't really want to see somebody come down my driveway. Because the empathetic part of me wants to honor their hustle. Um, but yeah, so far, probably knocked on 50 doors. I've gotten probably 15 inspections. Of the 15, I've gotten 2 solid sales of approvals. And I'm going out with a couple of guys right now. I went out with the owner of the company, and I went out with a 4-year veteran of roofing sales, and through those we have gotten some sales, some approvals, and we're installing new roofs, and I'm blown away at how easy it actually is for someone like me. Um, I've got a warm personality. I can talk to people easily for the most part, and I'm believable because I'm not lying. Um, that's kind of a big thing, is just don't lie. And I've had to come to that realization the hard way throughout life, because I wasn't always an honest um, person, not through and through. Um, and it has been something that I've needed to work on. But since I've been working on that, God has blessed those efforts by putting me in positions where people need to trust me. And so this is one of those. And yeah, so I bought an expensive pair of boots to walk roofs. They're called Cougar Paws. They've got really soft bottoms on them, so they keep you from sliding. I mean, we've been on roofs that are like this steep, and you don't slide. Thank God, that I've been able to get up there, and I actually am a little bit afraid of heights. So that's another funny thing about this particular profession, is that I've had to overcome some fears. First of all, the fear of going and knocking on someone's door, disturbing them during their day to sell them on a service that's gonna hopefully make me good money. That's the first fear, and then the second fear is actually the fear of heights. I'm actually afraid of heights. But the Cougar Paws certainly make you more comfortable. But thank God for those things. I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm hoping that that will get me a springboard to helping me to get some funds for my personal business, the Guardian Property Inspections. GPI is off the ground a little bit. I mean, it's barely hovering, but we're somewhere. Um, it is. I've got the business license. I went and changed the name to Guardian Property Inspections rather than Guardian Home Inspections, because Guardian Home Inspections is already out there. The way you find this out is you go on the Secretary of State's website, and you can look up for your state if that company's being used, that name is being used. So that's what I did, and to come to find out, Guardian Home Inspections is actually used, but Guardian Property Inspections is mine. So I went and changed the name. Feel good about that. The Cougar Paws, the boots that I bought, can help me in my business. So doing the roofing sales has propelled me into getting some materials that help me there. Started to understand a little bit more about tax write-offs, how the things that I'm using to get myself to start the business can help me to write. I can write those things off with taxes. The education that I'm getting through InterNACHI is something that I can write off on taxes. The Cougar Paws I can write off for taxes because I'll be using those to inspect roofs if I do the home inspections when I will be. And then the drone, I'll be buying a drone eventually, and I'll be able to write that off because I will be using the drone for inspections and taking pictures overhead. And I'm really excited about that. I've always wanted a nice, expensive drone. I can use that drone for other things, in my life as well. I know a guy who does drone work for a living. He just goes and flies his drone and takes pictures of things and is able to get paid good money, easy money to get drone footage to his customers. So that's a really cool avenue to making money, and it's something that I'm gonna use for my business. So this journey is interesting. I'm trying to learn all these different ways of getting, making kind of the talent stack like Scott Adams talks about. Somebody else I like to listen to. These talent stacks, how we're gonna use all the different things that I'm good at in a similar realm to get me where I need to go in the business world. Um, so yeah, I made a little progress since the first day. I think on the first day of making episodes, I hadn't done any inspections yet, but now we're here, and I've gotten a bunch of inspections now with the roofing company, and I've gotten some sales now. And I'm just doing this on the weekends or when I have time off from work. It's I'm still working 40 hours a week with the for my full-time job and getting that money and getting that work in, and then in the evenings and weekends I'm able to go and work on the roofs, and it's really not taking that much time away from the family. Um, I can knock on a few doors after work and a few doors on the weekends, and then an inspection itself, if you get to the point where you write a contract, can take about 45 minutes to an hour. So if I'm fortunate enough to get that far, then that's a win. But just knocking on the doors and getting out there and meeting people and talking about your business and is a great thing to do. In the meantime, for the Guardian Property Inspections, GPI, I've been collecting through my company. I've been collecting agents, real estate agents, cards and information, and letting them know that down the line, not now, it's not gonna interfere with my job. That down the line, I'm starting my own business, and we'll be contacting them in the future when I get a little bit more established. Um, for that, so I've gotten several names in my phone now of real estate agents that know that that's what I want to do, and they already agreed that they'll use me. So, and that's really cool. So every step of this process, it's a step closer to getting myself to that independent level where I can eventually retire from having to work as a W-2 employee into working as a self-made business, self-employed business owner, and that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal, is to work for myself. I know God is calling me to increase my domain in that way, and I'm here to honor that with God, and I'm excited about it. It's really neat. The wife is on board. The kids are on board. This is something hopefully that I can pass on to the family. Eventually, we can either set Kara up with her own business, with whatever she wants to do in the future, and she can help bring income into the home, or she can help me to administrate GPI once I get that off the ground and rolling. But as it is right now for GPI, I still need to get my certification. I haven't had as much time as I'd like to do the education on that, but as it is right now, I have a monthly membership due that I pay, and I will be able to just write that off on my taxes. I'm keeping the receipts for that, so as long as I can keep that rolling, that should be something that is fully um, tax deductible. So there's no reason for me to stop doing that. There's no reason for me to not have that as a resource. InterNACHI provides a lot of resources that I think are going to be beneficial for me moving forward in my business. And even as I'm my own business owner, I'll probably continue to use that service and promote that service. It's a lot of information that I'm learning that I did not know about homes. It's a lot. There's a lot of technical information that is really good to know, and it really helps me with my full-time job that I already have, because I'm already a home inspector, but I'm not a very technical home inspector. Quality inspection is really more about the functionality, the cleanliness, and the safety of a home, but then also the optics of the house. How does the actual house appear to the home buyer? And I really take a lot of pride in that, and I've gotten a long way with that as well. I really am affecting change within the company. I'm making myself more of a valuable asset every day there. I'm able to communicate effectively. I do use a chat GPT for communications with that, just to make the communications clearer and more precise. There's nothing more beneficial to you as a person than to have the right tools. And I often liken having a chat GPT word generator, or a communications generator, as having a tool. Like, it's like having a good nail gun if you're a framer, or having a good saw if you're a framer. Rather than having a hand saw or hammers, the trade partner that has the nail gun and the saw, the electric saw, is going to get a lot more done. So when you want to clearly communicate something, sure, I can communicate by typing, or typing into my phone or on the iPad, but running it through a language generator, just to make that a much more clear cut, easy to read, perfect sentence, paragraph, is such a great tool to have. And it makes it to where you don't have to spend so much time thinking about the email or the text message. You can just run your thoughts through the generator. It generates what you need. You have to have the intelligence to prompt it to say what you want it to say. So that's where your smarts comes into play. You really have to know exactly what you want to communicate, because otherwise it'll just go off the rails. And then getting it to say what you need it to say in as short a sentence or paragraph as you need it, when you're dealing with business, is such an important thing to have too, because otherwise you can get long-winded. You can put words in there you don't need, just because as a human we have so many complicated thoughts. This really helps. But yeah, I use that in my job, and it really has helped. But and I'll use that for GPI as well. Whenever I need to clearly communicate anything to my home buyers. And then so I also need to get an iPad eventually for the business. My own personal iPad. I don't have one. I'll need to get a new phone, because this one's all cracked and messed up, and it's also really small. I've got an iPhone 6. This thing's tiny. The work phone I have right now, I think, is like an iPhone. Gosh, what is this thing? It's a newer iPhone. I mean, it's got the 2 cameras, but it's newer. I mean, this would be even okay to have for the business. But eventually, I'm going to need to get my own software as well. My home inspector software. That's something I need to look up. I haven't looked that up. If anybody sees this video and gets this far in the vid, and has an idea about what kind of software I need to use, please feel free to put that in the chat. If you're getting anything from this video, hit me a like, get me a like, and throw me some comments too. I know eventually I'm going to be making better content. I'll be making, stuff that's going to be a little bit more visually pleasing, get some better audio, get some microphones, maybe a lavalier eventually. All these things I can probably, utilize for my personal home business. Having good media, putting out content regarding media. And like I said, Thoughtscape is just something that I've got, kind of a placeholder now for the name of the podcast, but I'll probably change the name of the podcast to better suit what I'm doing, and then also copyright that name too, so that nobody can use that or have to buy it from me if they want to use it, if they got a better idea for that name. But yeah, and the workout has been going good too. I've been increasing my weights. Every workout, I was nice and sore for a little while there. The chest was sore. The biceps are looking good. I'm feeling nice and strong. I'm probably the strongest I've ever been now. At 43 years old. Even when I was 25, I was a pretty strong little guy. But I wasn't nearly as strong as I am now. I can definitely tell. The health is good. The diet is working really well. The wife right now is on a pretty strong diet too. She is down to 138 pounds, I think. She's like, a little 5'4", a little woman who's 5'4", and she's had 4 kids. She's dropped all that baby weight now and is starting to slim down, looking real nice. And more than anything, she's starting to feel good. And that is a super important thing for me. On a more personal level, I think I've been kind of too busy. I've gotten myself into 3 ministries in the church. The worship team is one of those. I sing probably about 2 times a month right now with the church on stage. And when you do that, you've got to practice throughout the week, or at least I like to practice throughout the week and sing my parts. And then I've also have to be there early in the mornings at 7 o'clock in the morning on Sundays to rehearse. And then it's 2 services, so there's a 9 o'clock service and then a 10:45 service, and then you're out of there at lunchtime. And it's a long day on Sundays, and it's a lot. And I'm also facilitating a men's prayer group that I will probably put a hold on during this season, because right now it's Sunday morning church, even with the family. Even if I just get up and get the family ready for church, it's all day at church during the day into the early afternoon, and then go home for a little while, and then come back at 5 o'clock to do the men's prayer group. And although I think that we really need to be doing something for men's prayer, really haven't gotten a lot of support from the church, other than a couple of announcements here and there for it, and it's not really growing very fast right now. I'm trying to do it weekly, and I've got 5 other men who come and do the group with me, and they are mostly elders of the church. Only one gentleman there is younger than me, and he is 33, and I've got some guys in there as old as 60 years old. And it's great to have that mentorship. It's kind of a personal thing for me to have guys that are deeper in the faith than I am, to be there with me to help pray and talk about some pressing issues that are big in my life. But I think I need to put a hold on that for now. And I'm probably going to have that conversation with my pastor tomorrow night, because I'm also facilitating a discipleship class, which is quite a commitment. On Wednesday nights, instead of having small groups or meetups to have dinner like you would at like a Baptist church or something, our church is doing discipleship classes where we are going through material provided by our pastor, and then teaching that to small groups. So we are discipling and teaching small to help reach the community in that way. But trying to make disciples of Christ is a big thing for our pastor, and I respect that, and I'm in it to win it. So I'm there for that. I was just coaching, and then presenting, and now I'm presenting and facilitating a class. It's quite a bit. It's a commitment for sure. So if you go throughout my week, I'm working Monday through Friday, 40 hours at least. Um, and that it requires me to drive sometimes 4 to 5 hours a day to make that happen. And then Monday nights, I usually have one or two practices with the kids. Tuesday nights, one or two practices with the kids for soccer is what I'm talking about. And I'm coaching a soccer team. And then Wednesday nights, we will go and do the discipleship classes. Excuse me. And then Thursday, practice again with the kids. Friday night's the only night that I have off, but that will probably turn into me going and knocking on doors Friday nights. And then Saturdays is a soccer day as well. We'll have soccer practices, and games are coming up really soon. And then Saturday nights should be another day to knock on doors for the roofing company. And then Sundays, all day church until the early afternoon, and then I would have to go right back and do the class, the the men's prayer group. So I probably will at least put a hold on that during this season while my kids are doing soccer at the least, and just come back after that season's over. Because as it is right now, pretty tired. I'm pretty tired, and it's a lot of stress for me and the wife. I mean, I'm yawning right now, and I shouldn't be. But I am sitting here cozy and comfortable in my truck. But, yeah. Anyway, hopefully I didn't just put anybody to sleep who's watching this video eventually. But yeah, so, good times, man. I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm also the busiest I've ever been, and the most worn out that I've ever been. It is a lot going on right now, and I gotta tell you, it's hard. It's very hard, but it's also such a blessing. Like, what else would I be doing with my life? I mean, really, what else would I be doing? Um, you know, I went and did a warranty visit, and it was a young woman's home, and she was talking about how busy she was. She has one child, but she's got that child in 3 different activities. She works a full-time job as well, and she says, I miss the days that I wasn't doing anything. And I turned around and said all the things that I was into, and said I was never happier, never been happier. So you know it's all in what you need, I guess. Maybe some people don't need to be doing a whole lot to be happy, but I think that having my life in so many different areas and affecting so much change in so many different areas is what I want to leave behind. Like my influencer that I listen to, Alex Hormozy, says, when I die, I want to be known for doing epic shit. And that's what I want to be known for. I want to be known for doing the epic. I want my sons and daughters to know that their daddy laid it all on the line and stretched out himself as thin as possible so that that I could bridge the gap for them so wide that all they have to do is count on daddy, and I got them in the early formative years of their life. I'm here for them, and they know without a shadow of a doubt that I worked as hard as I could for them, because that's why I'm doing it. That's really why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to become a self-made millionaire for me. It's for them. Um, like the life insurance policy that I have for myself. That's not for me. It's for them. And this is part of the life insurance policy for them, is that I'm able to leave behind a legacy that extends beyond just the amount of money they're going to have. The legacy I leave behind is that hard work pays off. And hard work is what you need to have in order to get anywhere in life. I don't want to raise a bunch of lazy slobs. I want to raise champions. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a champion. And I'm trying to raise champions. That's what we're here to do. That's what God